Hi guys, I am going to show you how I would quickly edit this photo. It's a little bit dark, you can see, so we're going to start by coming right here to exposure, and I'm going to bring up the exposure quite a bit, maybe to about here, 1.38. I try not to go above about 1.5 because it starts to get too grainy, but you can. I just like to be, I try to be careful of that. Next, I'm going to increase the contrast. I almost always do that. I'm going to bring the highlights down just a little because I've got some bright highlights here on her face. Then I'm also going to bring down my shadow. If I bring them down a lot, you can see what that's affecting. And then also blacks. So black adds a lot, just adds black into it. Here's just the regular picture. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. And then I'm also going to bring my whites up a little. When I pull it really high, you can see what that does. I'm just going to pull it up a little bit to brighten the image overall. Next, I'm going to come here to clarity, and I'm going to increase my clarity. Not tons, because it starts to get funky with skin tones, but this is about good. And then I also like doing vibrance. It's similar. Vibrance is kind of similar to saturation, but it's a little smarter than the saturation tool. So if I bring it all the way up, you can see it's obviously too much. All the way down, it doesn't completely desaturate the picture, but it does a lot. So it just brightens the colors and stuff without it being too much. So I'm going to bring it to about there. I'm going to ignore saturation. I'm going to skip my tone curve for right now. That's a lesson for another day. Okay, now I'm looking at my colors here. These bars will decrease the saturation or increase of specific colors. Right now, I would say I might bring my oranges down just a little because I've got some orange in her hair, which is not very true to color for her. And I might pop up my blues just a little bit. And then next, I'm going to do some split toning. So on the highlights, I'm going to bring saturation up a little. And then as I move this bar, it changes the tone of the image to like that color that's up here, this hue. So it can help me find just the right color tone for the image. This looks pretty good for her. I'm going to skip the shadow one for right now, and I'm actually going to decrease that saturation just a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So this is sharpening. This is just the central point of the picture, which is right on her glasses. I'm going to bring my sharpening up between 40 and 50, and then I also bring the luminance up under 20 for this one. It just softens it a little bit, but what that does is that's a noise reducer. Finally, I'm going to grab this lens corrections, this distortion, and I'm going to distort it just a little. I can do it like extreme, if you don't want, or you can really like get rid of the distortion. I'm just going to do a little bit, just to make it a little bit more fun and playful. Perfect. Okay, so now that we've gotten it to this point, we're going to come up here to these filters up here at the top, and I'm going to grab this adjustment brush. Now it's got all the previously used settings on it, so let me reset it. When I use this brush, I'm going to increase my exposure, my contrast, bring down my highlights, basically a lot of the things that I just did. And then what this brush does is it allows me to target specific areas. I'm going to increase that brush size. Choose specific areas to put these edits on. So as I brush it on, you can see how it's just onto there. So I'm going to brush it on her little face. Now it does look a little bit bright, so I'm going to bring the exposure down just a little. I want a little more black in there, I think, and a little more shadow. I also bring the sharpness up to just emphasize that. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to decrease the size of my brush. And I'm going to do it across this like bubble handle since that's also like in focus along with this. Okay, perfect. So here is my before and after. You can see what a big difference that made.